When Kundalini awakens, what happens? Kundalini, okay, there's Kundalini, prana. And you can see in many Kundalini activation videos that the body is moving, or you can see energy orgasms and emotional release, de-armoring going on. All brilliant stuff. All stuff we need to go through before we awaken the Kundalini. Amazing stuff. People that work on those levels, the ones that work well, do your research, the ones that have control, process, and aren't playing with your energy, brilliant. But what happens when your Kundalini awakens? If it awakens spontaneously, then you are going to, highly likely, if you've done no work beforehand, you're going to have a difficult time. You're going to have to face your shadows. You're going to have to face the electro and magnetical parts of your energy body. You're going to have to face your ego. You're going to have to face the illusions that are your reality. And these are going to be very difficult things. If that's happened, you need to take a step back. You need to take control. I would advise you to take a course, take a training. I offer them, theawakenenergy.com. Other people offer them as well. You can just go and buy a book or watch some videos. Make sure they're quality ones, because there are good quality ones on YouTube. Everybody says, oh, on YouTube, it's all meh. Okay, there's a lot of meh, but there's some really, really good stuff on YouTube as well. You just have to find it. Really good quality stuff. But what happens? So for those people, you need to take a step back and go and do those things. Those are symptoms that need to be dealt with. But what actually happens when the Kundalini awakens? I spoke about in a previous video about activating your energy. And I mentioned that your energy flows it's like a donut shape. And the center of the donut, so if we look at it, instead of in 3D, if we look at it from above, that toroidal energy field is a circle. And at the center of the circle, there is a dot. But as proven in different fields of research, when you look for the center, it disappears because that dot becomes its own circle, and then you have to go to the center. And it becomes an infinite chase of finding the center. You can never truly find that center if you are trying to look at it. But we know it's there. We can feel it's there. So if we look at that donut shape from above, the center falls right on our spine, on the shushumna. This is where the Kundalini energy, the cosmic energy, not the pranic energy, Not that stuff that makes you move around and de-armor and release and break your ego, break your persona, that mask that everybody has. That's what that forces you to do. But once you've cleared all of that out of the way, and you're able to feel the shushumna, the Kundalini column, almost like a vacuum tube running through the center of the toroid. That is when, if you look for it, you won't find it, because Kundalini is elusive. But when you embrace it and you accept it and you just embody the whole notion, this is when Shakti can rise, Shiva can connect, energy and consciousness, through this vacuum tube. And Kundalini awakens. And this is where we can have a connection through the flow of the energy to consciousness. And this is where we are going to have a connection to something bigger than ourselves. If we've done the practices, if we had followed the path, we will become aware of what some people might call the star chakra above our heads. And when we connect to that, we can start feeling things that aren't our own. We can start hearing things that aren't our own. We can start having visions that aren't our own. Thus, one can compare it to an ayahuasca experience, except without taking any substances. Joe Dispenza is doing research into the fact that ayahuasca and all these things just create the state to open the gap. The problem with doing this with plant medicines is that can take us to a million different places. And thus everything is sort of random. When we do this through awakening our own energy, things become less random. And here, people start to experience the same things. It is described in many religious, not just sacred, but religious texts. Obviously, the description has been passed down from word to word to word to word to word to word to word. Things have got changed, descriptions have got changed, but fundamentally, they all say the same thing. And fundamentally, this is what you will experience. And I don't care what name you give it, whether it's Christian terminology or Hindu terminology or Sikh or Buddhist or whatever religion in the world. Those are just the ones that come to mind. There are many others. That is what happens when you awaken your Kundalini. You form this connection. And you get to experience something so intense that it is going to be very difficult to understand. More so because, of course, what you're going to experience is not going to be said in your language because it's not about you. If you speak English, it's suddenly going to be in English. If you speak French, it's suddenly going to be in French. Also, you must understand the devil is in the details, because your brain is going to try and interpret things for you best to understand it. And this is why a Christian might think they experience a saint or Jesus or Mary or whatever. And this is why another religion, if that is your programming, they will experience something or someone else. The devil is in the details. The details will shadow the truth. So you need to be able to put aside those details and just experience the pure essence of, for lack of a better term, is code. Welcome to the Matrix. Code, the golden ratio, the phi ratio, sacred geometry, the flower of life. They're all built in together. They all represent the same things. And so then becomes the point of trying to, over time, through multiple connections, understand things. If you haven't read the autobiography of a yogi, if you haven't listened to some of the talks of Satguru, of the higher mystical things, it's going to be a very difficult path. Those things, because obviously they're expressed in our language, are still only tiny, tiny glimpses of what you're going to experience when you awaken your Kundalini. It is a journey, it is a path. You will understand, you will have many realizations. The big cosmic joke will be shown to you many times in different ways. When you try to put it into your own language, the truth will be manipulated by your mask, by your consciousness, by your ego, your own consciousness, your own programming. That will, in a bad way, change things. In a good way, make things personal to your journey, because your experience, the totality of your programming, everybody's is different. Therefore, from the infinite, you will find a path. Thanks to everything, once you have managed to let go of the baggage. Can I be more definite, more defined, more concrete than this? If I were to be more defined using language about this, I would only be deviating from the truth by interpreting, placing opinion and perspective on it. This is not something that we can talk about. It is something we must experience. When you have experienced it for yourself, Then when talking to other people that have experienced it, that can be an amazing thing. Very similarly, to talk to someone about astral projection who has not astral projected, it is such a strange, bizarre concept. They cannot understand it. Yet if you have astral projected and you are talking to someone else who has, not think they've astral projected and just remote viewed, but actually astral projected, it will be a very different conversation. And they will strangely be conversations of few words and more energetic and telepathic exchanges. Yeah, telepathic exchanges. That is what happens when Kundalini awakens. Hit that subscribe button, the notification button. If you've experienced this, write it in the comments. Give a brief description. See you in another video.